Hey everybody, it's Cameron with the Atlas Strength Shop back with another video. We just got back from Alabama, strongest man. The crew did fantastic. I'm going to show you all the highlights from the Atlas crew and a few extras from some of the friends we have made throughout our travels. But before we do that, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out a lot. Let's get to it. First up, we have Brandon doing his odd object carry medley. They had to carry a fire hydrant, a crucifix, and this pylon, which is just part of a telephone pole. From what I understand, the pylon was very, very thick. So you might be asking yourself, why I only caught the tail end of that? Well, it's because this year they were running 4 events simultaneously, and I had people on all 4 lanes all day. So some of these, I'm not going to catch everybody. It's me running back and forth across the entire venue in order to try to get all this. So here's JB with his run. So that crucifix carry is about half of the size of the one that we built. But God, is it pretty. They took it to a auto detailer, or I don't know what the proper word would be, but the people who put paint jobs on cars is the person who did the paint job on that. It turned out fantastic. Here we have Dylan doing his log ladder. All right, so I got, I think, 4 different weight classes. It's impossible for me to remember all the weights on these, so just bear with me. If you're curious what any of these weights are, this is the heavyweight novice division. You can pull up Iron Podium on another device. You can check out the weight matrix on there. Here he goes for a second attempt at that one.
There it is. Stabilize, stabilize.
And on that one, he gets the down command. And then he goes for the 4th log. So the MB Power Center logs, if you've never used one, most of the weight is in the log itself. From what I hear, they are rough if you have never touched one. Strangely enough, that was the first log I ever touched, was an MB Power Center log. So next up, he's not a current member, but he was one of us. I went ahead and I filmed him all day anyway, just because we do still consider him part of our family. He just happened to move away. Well, he always lived away, but he was in town working for several months and was with us. That was Bronson. He is competing as heavyweight open. Next up, we have Ryan. Ryan was one of those competitors that kind of went back and forth between whether or not he wanted to compete open or he wanted to stay novice. He wound up staying novice heavyweight or heavyweight novice, and by the end of the day, I'd say that was a good decision. A little trouble with the clean on that one. He isn't able to show control to get the lockout and the down command. Takes a beat, tries it again.
You got this. Big hips.
A little bit smoother on the clean. And he does wind up getting the down command on that one. I believe he was either the only one or one of 2 that got all 4 in that weight class. Which very few people this day got all 4 logs in their ladder. In fact, they were doing a drawing for $100. If you got the 4th log on your log ladder, you would be inputted into a drawing to possibly win $100. And this is Matt. He is also competing heavyweight novice. Here he goes for the 3rd log. I don't remember if he gets this one or not. So even if he had locked that one out, it wouldn't have counted because it rested on his head, and that is a no-go in Strongman. One of these old beast metal logs. This company isn't around anymore. From what I understand, the dude just kind of blew up, got in way over his head, and just stopped fulfilling orders. I don't know how true that all is. That's coming, telephone game. Person told a person told a person told me. All right, so next up we've got Colt Swanson on the tug of war. I was really impressed with the dude who kicks his ass right here. Because if you watch, as soon as he hears go, that dude dug in and just started leaning back and digging to the ground. Colt was already leaned over, and he unfortunately lost that event. Next up, we have Brandon. If I remember right, this was 500 pounds. This was their heavy axle. He had to do it for reps. That was 3, 4. So the way this event worked is you had a heavy axle in the front and a light axle in the back. And any reps on the heavy axle would beat 1 billion reps on the light axle. So if you were strong enough to pick up the heavy axle, it was advantageous for you to do so, even if you could only do it one time. As you saw here, though, Brandon just absolutely sent it. Which he does all things. I think every single event that Brandon did, I had to carry him off the field. The dude has 0 chill. He is our lovable crackhead energy athlete. Seriously, we were all jealous of the amount of energy that dude has. So next up, we have JB. So JB has pulled 600 pounds before, so this was light work for him. JB was one that we also were surprised that he decided to compete novice. We honestly all thought he was competing in middleweight open until we went to dinner together the night before, and it caught us all off guard. His reasoning was sound, though, made sense, but I do not think he's going to be back in the novice category after this event.
One more and you beat Brandon.
As evident from him making very short work of the heavy axle. Generally, when they put a heavy axle in a competition like this, they want you to get 2, maybe 3 reps. The idea of getting like 8 to 10 reps, absolutely ridiculous. Back over to the heavyweight novice guys, and here is Matt doing the odd object carry. And go watch some of our other training videos. Matt's in a lot of them. And look at the size of the crucifix that we had compared to the crucifix that he's holding in this one. At one point, I had a fire hydrant. I loaned it to an athlete actually from Alabama. She's currently using it to train for OSG. I don't want to take that from her, but I might wind up getting a couple more fire hydrants here in the near future, just because we've got some guys going to OSG too. All right, this is Bronson on the log ladder. So Bronson wasn't originally going to compete. In fact, we were all surprised to see him there. He signed up last minute to honor one of the regional heavyweight guys who unfortunately passed away, I think, about a month ago at the time of film. It actually wasn't even a month. It's just been a couple of weeks. They were friends. Bronson decided to compete to honor him, and he definitely did honor that athlete with his performance. Like I said, Bronson isn't currently a member of Atlas, but we still consider him part of the family. Anytime he is in town, he trains with us. And I'd like to think that if he lived in Baton Rouge, he would be training with us full time. But anytime he takes a job in the area, we see him in our doors. Dude's crazy strong. Was made for this sport. Here's the third log. Don't remember if he gets this one or not. Think he tries for it again. And he got time. Every single time I see Christian Suggs compete, I like to catch at least one of his events because the dude's overhead is absolutely insane. I was honestly shocked that he didn't get all 4 of these logs. Spoiler. But he still did very well. Kid's only 18 years old and is already hanging with the big boys. I really do think we're going to see him go far. Third log in the series. Goes up like butter. And this was the final log. Easy clean. And I cut the video, but we all had to run up and catch him. Honestly, the heat was just getting to everybody on this day. I don't know how he does it, but Chris Slater, the guy in the cool hat right there, winds up picking the hottest day of the year to do Alabama Strongest every single year. So now we got Colt on log. Gets the second log. I don't remember if he gets the third one or not. I don't think he does. When you're trying to keep track of what 7 people are doing, it gets tough. Good clean. And yeah, it just wasn't there today. Like I said, the heat was getting to everyone. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. I think he tries it again. Yep, it just wasn't. Next up, we have Dylan on deadlift. Again, Dylan was also in the heavyweight novice group. Goes to attempt the first rep. And it wasn't there today. Honestly, I think his stance was just too wide. It looks like he tried to, from what I remember, his deadlift being in training, his stance looked wildly different than what it did here. He also started hitching a lot more than I've seen him hitch in the past as well. Hitching is one of those things that it's good to know how to do, but you shouldn't rely on it as a go-to. Yeah, I definitely saw him pull way better reps in training. Sometimes just not there. Like I said, the heat was just killing everybody. Next up, we have Brandon versus JB, and I did not know who to root for. I basically ran up, started filming, and just thought, go team. Both of them dug in. This was one hell of a fight. So they did this tournament style. Some groups, depending on the size of the group, do the dumbbell elimination or single elimination. I don't remember which groups had double and which groups had single or what the criteria was. But yeah, it was an interesting event. Next up, we have Ryan on deadlift. He was going to call it, but then when he found out he had 45 seconds left, he decided to take a breather and go for a third rep. Really glad he did. Good third rep on deadlift. Next up, we have Matt. So Matt started training Strongman April 2nd. He signed up April 1st when we did Louisiana Strongest Man. He was there as a spectator. He signed up. He has been busting his ass every single training session since. That being said, it takes a long time to build your deadlift. He's only been at it for 4 months, so he still put up one hell of a fight. The heavyweight open guys doing their carry medley. This is the point in the day where my the lens on my camera started getting really, really cloudy, and every single ounce of fabric I had on me was soaked, so I couldn't really get it clear. So if you start seeing it blur, that is why. Next up, we have Colt. That crucifix looks so small on him. I keep calling it a crucifix carry. I don't think that's what that implement's actually called, though. I may be mistaken. Next up, the fire hydrant. So the pylon was a really creative event. I've never seen them put that in a competition. Not my favorite, though. I can definitely think of a lot cooler things to carry than a piece of wood. But hey, it's always cool to have something different in a comp. Things as tall as he is. So a lot of these guys in the lighter weight classes were able to just pick it up from the bottom and carry it almost like a keg. Not the super heavies, though. Matt was absolutely killing the tug-of-war all day. All right, here is Dylan versus Dakota. Dakota is an athlete out of Mississippi. He follows us on a few platforms. He said he's going to come and visit this Saturday. Looking forward to seeing him. Yeah, everybody was just busting their ass on the deadlift. Next up, we got Matt again.
Get low, Matt. Get low. Get low.
This one was a fight. Then we have Bronson on the deadlift.
Lightweight, buddy.
See Daryl there in the corner. Every single event we do, Daryl says he's not going to help this time. Every single event we do, Daryl jumps in and starts helping. Every one of them. Daryl is the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life. He makes me sick. We love Daryl. He's a good dude.
Squeeze them cheeks.
That rep was a fight.
Hell yeah. Make us proud, Brandon.
If you notice on that last one, they had a towel on the axle behind them. There was no cloud cover. These implements get so damn hot out there in the sun. Have Brandon doing his log. Dude is a powerhouse. Like, he just started in, I want to say, February. He walked in the door for the first time, picked up the 300-pound Husafel stone, said, that's kind of heavy. Put it back down. Guy weighed like 180 pounds soaking wet. Some people are just too damn strong for their own damn good. I could not, like, he came so close to getting that time. Let's see if he gets it this time. But what he had said, I know I got the volume turned down on their audio, but he was talking about how hot the implement was. And that was a big part of it.
Big legs. Head through. Head through.
And he got the down command. Like I said, we basically had to carry him off after every single event. And after watching that last one, I'm sure you can understand why. Because he does not leave anything on the table at all. So I'm not sure if JB purposely took his belt off or if it just popped off mid-rep. But I have had that happen before. It sucks. Knew a guy, the bottom of a squat, the lever on his lever belt just exploded. He lost his brace and he just about crapped his pants. That would have been a bad day. Next up, we have Colt on deadlift. There was one person behind him. He was told exactly how many he needed to win because the judge knew the guy and knew he wasn't going to go for the heavy axle. Granted, that wasn't communicated very clearly. So here in a few seconds, I'll tell you all the story. I lost count. I think that's either 5 or 6. So Colt breaks away. Then his dad tells him he's got more time. He locks in. He keeps going. I want to say he gets a total of 9. I don't really remember. So if you notice, Colt's a little off center. Colt sets up his deadlift slightly off center. He always does every single rep. I don't understand why, but he deadlifts 900 pounds. I'm not going to try to talk him out of it. So yeah, the guy afterwards wound up, going for the light axle, so Colt did not need to pull that many. Now we're on to stones. This is the final event of the day. Ricky Kelly, the guy standing behind Ryan right now, is the guy that built this implement, and I think I'm going to build one just like it because I really liked it, and we're building that Strongman yard, so why the hell not? And I will say all of our heavyweight novice guys absolutely sent this event. Coming into this event, they were all like within a couple points of each other and fighting for first or second place. Like the guy in second place or first place, the guy in second place would have had to have done completely horrible. And all three of them would have had to have done extremely well for either of them to get a shot at second or third. Just going to cut to the end. Our three guys in heavyweight novice all wound up tying for third place. That's how hard they fought. Next up, we have Dylan. Just one motioning that stone. Dylan is really good at stones. Like, most guys who have his build are not this good at stones. Just because the stone is generally, for most people with their leverages, the stone have to take up the same space that Dylan's body is taking up. So that's why you see guys who are a little bit leaner, they tend to be really good at stones, unless they're just like 6'8". But yeah, Dylan is incredible at stones, especially for a guy that just really hadn't been doing this that long. I cannot wait to see where Dylan is in like 3 or 4 years. He is going to be a powerhouse if he sticks to this and doesn't get hurt. Which, that's the trick. If you've been around the sport for any length of time whatsoever, you've probably noticed that, the guys that you see dominating in the amateur circuit, they don't tend to be there very long. And it's just, you're prone to injury. It's definitely not a sport that's easy on the body at all. Matt absolutely killed this event. The other guys looked like they were blazing. They got 8 reps. Ryan just completely blew that out of the water. He wound up with 11 reps total. And I don't have a video of it or a picture of it, but he barely had any skin on his hands after this event was over. He really wanted this event win, and he got it. And it's funny because he's been saying that he said we need something in between 320 and 360 for stones. Obviously not if he's doing this well. And he just dies right there. Next up, we have JB on stones. I don't remember how many reps JB gets. So here's number 2. So JB and Brandon were neck and neck pretty much the entire show as well. Here's rep 4 coming up. Rep 5. I want to say JB gets either 8 or 9. This time of the day, everybody's exhausted. Everybody's hungry. Everybody's tired. I believe this is 8 right here.
Good. Still moving good. That's
I'm sorry. No, that would have been...
That's 9.
I completely lost count. I'm not even going to lie.
Get it? One more.
I do know that Brandon just beat him by a hair. So, let's see. That's 1.
Let's go, Brandon.
That's 2. It's 3. 4. That's 5. That's 6.
Come on, Brandon.
That's 7.
3 more and you're beating John.
8.
9. That's 10.
9.
Don't leave anything on the table, Brandon.
That's 10. Okay, so JB got 10. Maybe they tied. I'll have to go back and look at the scores. Here is Bronson on stones. So Bronson uses a technique a lot of people use where they almost go sideways to try to get the stone over. It's a way to get like another extra inch. The only problem with that is if you watch how the stone lands, there's a few where the judges or not the judges, but the helpers just have to jump out of the way real quick. And it was kind of like that at Louisiana Strongest too. Like we had guys just stay out of the way because they were worried Bronson was going to kill them. So by this point, there was so much tacky on the stones, the tacky wasn't really helping all that much. Which, that's a common thing at Alabama. I tried telling a couple of these guys who were newer. There's so much sand on the stones that the tacky sticks to the sand and doesn't stick to the actual stone. So Colt wound up with 2. Don't remember if he gets this one or not. I don't think he does. And that's a wrap.
So that is it for the video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out a lot. Every week somebody tells me that they came in because they found us on YouTube, and it has been awesome to use this platform to help this place grow. If you want to join this community, hit me up on Instagram. That's the best way to get in touch with me. If you're not in the Baton Rouge area and you still like sports, you can do that a few ways. You can head to the website. You can check out our programming options and our apparel options. I designed all the apparel myself. I like it. Hopefully you do too. If you're looking for a competition, what you saw just looked really, really cool, check out Iron Podium. Right now we have one competition that's up on Iron Podium. That is going to be happening on November 18th. It's in Kenner, Louisiana, and that is the 4th annual Rougarou Classic. The events are really, really cool, so I hope to see you all there. We also have another one that is going to be happening April 13th. That one is not on Iron Podium yet, but keep an eye out for it. If powerlifting is more of your thing, we have 3 USAPL competitions coming up. We have one in October, that's going to be October 7th, that's Night of the Living Deadlift. We have one in February, and then we have one also on April 13th in the same venue as Louisiana Strongest Man. But until next time, keep that tight.